Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Fanboy 4. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Justin. That one smirking over there is Brandon.
Didn't hear.
I
didn't hear a word he just said.
No, you can't hear you. Well, anyways, silent one is Brandon. Steven is also here.
Yo.
And then we got Tony.
Hey.
So thanks for watching, as usual. For all the people on Facebook.com/fanboy4, thank you for watching. People watching our YouTube, which currently is no one because we just started. But regardless, thank you for watching when you get to this. Today, we are going to talk about comics, specifically Marvel and DC. They got a lot of kind of stuff coming up within the next few months. And rather than spend a little time on it in our news the last few weeks, we decided we were just going to make it one whole episode dedicated to it all. So we are going to talk about that, but that's later. But right now is the news. Where's my beep, 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 Steven?
Pop, 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 pop.
I was just trying to see how many Z's you were going to end on the add to the end of news there.
Yeah, I guess I did kind of like throw you astray there.
Yeah.
News. All right. So first up on our news list is the Marvel, well, I guess it's technically Fox, New Mutants and X-Men Dark Phoenix Saga movies have both been delayed. Now, it's come out afterwards that it's due to massive reshoots for both, and actually New Mutants actually seems to have some creative differences with the director, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. So what is your take and thoughts on this?
For New Mutant, wasn't there a trailer that came out for New Mutants?
Yeah, there's a trailer already.
Yeah, so it's like
it's actually originally was supposed to come out in April, like next month.
Like next month, right? But now it's like 2019.
Like, yeah, I think like later 2019 too.
Yeah, so I mean, if they've already put out a trailer and then there's going to be massive like reshoots, they basically are just redoing the whole movie. I feel like.
I believe I read over half the movie is being changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the main thing they wanted to, from what I read, is that they wanted to make it scarier, but I don't know how much of that is actually true.
They said they wanted to make it more like different from everything else. They didn't want it to be, so I guess whatever the original, cut or whatever, because I guess there's already a cut of the film done, and I guess they must have watched it and they decided, no, this isn't going to work. So now I guess I'm like worried, like, is the director just gonna be like, screw this, I'm out kind of thing? Because it's like over half the movie. Like if you told me over half the movie I made needs to be changed, I'd be probably a little bit pissed. So especially if I liked it. So
yeah, X-Men Dark Phoenix though, that one apparently was already done shooting in October.
Yep.
And then they're like, yep, well, we're gonna redo it again. So I'm just curious why the reshoots, like what.
Yeah,
who
that one I read
the reshoots.
It was more of a scheduling issue because like Fassbender and Lawrence and like some of these other people weren't able just to do it right away. They like the soonest they can do it is like August, September. I think I read. So for that one, it's more of just a scheduling thing. Otherwise, it probably would be out sooner. But it's one of those things where it's just like
it's got some higher profile people.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where they just can't get everyone in the same room at the same time, kind of thing.
Was there reshoots at all involved in this? Because I did read somewhere that it was possibly like they just like after the kind of the poor reception from Apocalypse, they wanted to get this like perfect as much as possible.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I don't remember seeing anything for the reshoots for Dark Phoenix other than it was delayed. So unless somebody else saw.
But lots of reshoots. I feel like that's like a normal thing though now. I feel like every movie gets reshoots.
Yeah.
You should almost never expect a movie to come out the day that it says it is, unless it's Avengers Infinity War. Well, I guess then you should never expect it because it's not coming out the original one.
It's coming out a week earlier.
Right. It's not delayed, but it's coming out earlier.
So yeah. But I'm excited for both, but it's one of those things where I'm like a little bit nervous for New Mutants just because I'm like, is it actually going to come out? Because it just seems like it's been delayed a few times already, and
Well, I think like we were talking about offline, it could be one of those ones that they wait for their like streaming service to come out, and then they're like, "This is our big stream, like a big original."
Right. I could definitely see something like that.
Josh, I completely agree that we do need a perfect X-Men movie. Like we haven't had one that's been.
Yeah, and that, to be honest, like the very little we've seen of it, like we haven't gotten. I don't even think we've gotten even a trailer for that. We just got like some like screenshots.
Yeah,
and like it already looked like they were doing a pretty cool job. Like the Phoenix looks cool, so
yeah.
But I don't know. I guess we'll see. Speaking of, well, I guess it doesn't actually apply, so don't worry about it. But anyways, but John Cena is now confirmed to be playing Duke Nukem in a Deadpool-esque Duke Nukem movie. Yeah.
Duke Nukem.
So is the poster just gonna have a background with nobody there?
Yeah, is it just gonna be like a gun hanging on somebody? Like I don't understand. We're not supposed to be able to see this person?
Like it's gonna be action, but it's gonna be like comedy. Like they're purposely gonna be like how Deadpool the movie is, kind of like.
I think you missed what Tony and I were asking is.
Oh,
how are we gonna see Duke Nukem? Yeah, how are we gonna see?
Like, I was about to do a Duke Nukem impersonation, so like I'm not even gonna do that. I'm not even gonna do that today.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Duke Nukem, baby. I'm John Cena, baby.
Video game movies don't seem to work out too well.
Yeah, and plus he's like,
that's a bad part. Hold on, Brandon or Tony. Yep, that's Brandon.
Keep going.
Anyways,
all right.
The only thing about John Cena is I don't know if he can actually do the Duke Nukem voice or how they're going to pull
that. You think he can't do the Duke Nukem voice? I can't do that.
Ooh, that was oof. Wait, we need to drink some more tea.
I can do the Duke Nukem voice, baby.
I don't know. He can do it. He just got to practice.
Yeah, that or they just won't really care all that much.
Yeah, or they won't do the voice. They'll just have him be a character.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. He definitely has the look though. So
yeah.
He's got that.
I'm wondering if they'll make him blonde.
Yeah. Ooh, I didn't think about that. I wonder if the Undertaker's going to answer his challenge at WrestleMania. Or if he just didn't watch the crowd.
I saw something that said like the Undertaker was going to come back as the badass Undertaker.
Yeah,
there's rumors.
And fight
yeah,
that was
Kid Rock's going to be there. Because Kid Rock's
oh, is it in Detroit?
No, it's in New Orleans.
It's in New Orleans. Yeah.
Okay. I figured that. Wait, why is Kid Rock going to be there? Like, what's?
Because he's actually okay. Yeah, it's like a few. I didn't actually. I thought maybe he just showed up at random Raw because that's what they do with their Hall of Fame. They're like, hey, this guy was at Raw once. Like he can be in Hall of Fame because he's a celebrity wing. But he's actually made a few theme songs for wrestlers. I forget there was like 2 or 3. So they're like, oh, but then again, Jim Johnston, who actually has made like all the themes from like the 90s and shit, is not in there yet. So it's kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. Hopefully eventually. Speaking of Deadpool, actually, Deadpool-esque, Donald Glover and FX step away from Deadpool animated series, leaving doubt it'll even actually happen. And then today, actually, this story has developed more. Donald Glover actually made a script and posted it online, basically talking shit about FX and saying it's basically FX's fault this is not happening. Not because they made it seem like he didn't have time to do it with all like Solo and everything. And he made it very clear that is not the case. So what do we, I mean, it's sad the show, I think we talked about this last week, that the show wasn't happening, but, oh no, we didn't. But we brought it up that we were like wondering what's going on with it. But what do you guys think about all of this?
I'm again sad that it's most likely not going to happen now. It would have been pretty cool for him. I did see his post with like the script, and a lot of people were saying that he basically, some people were saying that it looked like he maybe made it today or like yesterday after they found out it was canceled.
Yeah.
And not that he had it done. So
right.
I mean, you know,
who
actually knows?
I don't know if you actually read. There's like a line in there where he like. No, there's a line there. He alludes to that he actually did write it like within the last 24 hours, basically.
Oh, okay.
Like there's a line where it says Deadpool says something about for the people watching, and then he puts like ... and he goes, or I should say reading this, and then everyone's like, oh. So because there were some people that a lot of like outlets kind of ran like, oh, he posted the final script, and it's like, no, well, it's the only script because the show isn't happening. So
right,
but yeah, which is unfortunate.
It's sad.
Very sad. And actually, I'm going to skip over 4 to get to 5 because that is also kind of sad. Chris Evans expects Avengers 4 to be his last Marvel movie. So he either dying or he leaving one way or another. So do we first off, do we believe that this is, or is he just trying to swerve people?
I think it'll be the last one.
They all, yeah, aren't most of the originals done?
At least to our knowledge, the contracts are up with Avengers 4. So you would expect it to be, but I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like skeptical because I think that happened with Downey Jr. before. Like his contract was up and everyone's like, oh, he's done. And then all of a sudden he like signed on like 3 or 4 more films. So it was like, okay.
Yeah.
I think it was before Spider-Man.
It's not like they're not gonna have any money to do it. I feel like it's been a good run. It's been a good 10 years, you know. It'll be what, 11 when this one comes out. So I mean, if they're planning on a phase 4 with, you know, Captain Marvel and whatever they're going to do, I feel like they should just end kind of everybody. I mean, not like kill everybody, but just like end the stories and start anew, basically. That's how I feel. I mean, and
they have enough characters, I feel like, where they can kind of, you know, phase some of these other people out and make other people like promote them up a little bit and then into like, as far as like the central teams and move on from there.
They'll need to do a good job, and I think Black Panther started it. They'll need to do a good job at getting a central team that's like right now it's Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man. Like those are the 3, you know, big actors, big guys. They'll need to get another big 3 or big couple to be the face of the franchise that people are like, hey, that's Black Panther. Hey, that's Hawkeye. It's not going to be Hawkeye.
Yeah. I think Captain Marvel is going to be one of those people they push.
Yeah, especially because Brie Larson's kind of like blowing up now as an actress herself. So,
and I wouldn't actually be surprised if Thor. I mean, we'll get more into this when we get to our episode about Infinity War in like a month from now. But I kind of feel like Thor might be the one person that would like stay around because he's kind of almost expressed that he wants to. So that he wants to make more movies like Thor Ragnarok and continue that story. And there's definitely more to say there. So
he's the youngest out of those 3, right?
Yes.
He's not. Yeah.
And his character too is they can do a lot with him in space. Like if they were to continue, like they're going to continue Guardians and obviously Captain Marvel. So like the whole space thing, Thor is good to as a character to be able.
I can also see now I'm thinking about Spider-Man because obviously he's the youngest of anyone.
Yeah.
So, and as long as they're going to continue that, we know there's another Spider-Man movie coming. So, but that's the beginning of the next phase. So.
And then hopefully, eventually, they'll get, you know, Fantastic Four and X-Men built in there. So that kind of
right.
And they can
like pocket.
Yeah, and then either Bucky or Falcon or whoever can become Captain America, depending on how that.
Nobody's coming Captain America. He is going to stay Captain America forever.
That's what they all say. Okay.
Let me think it.
Okay.
Brandon, you got any thoughts on that? Yes, no, got any thoughts?
I'm sorry.
He's very upset about this.
Yeah, stupid ass Mike. No, I think they've already kind of set it up pretty well for Black Panther and obviously Spider. Like, I mean, Spider-Man's gonna be pretty big because it's supposed to, the second one's supposed to take place almost immediately after Avengers 4. So I feel like that's a pretty big jumping or on point for phase 4 or whatever they're gonna call it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty excited. I'm really excited to see Infinity War, just because I just want to.
Yeah, turn that volume down, Brandon.
But you know, I'm just excited to see what's all gonna be. I watched the trailer again today.
We were eating dinner and watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. actually, and for the for like the commercials that came on, they were showing the new clips for Infinity War, and it just got me even more hyped. I'm like, God, this is gonna be so good. Like
Oh.
just 30 seconds, and it's like,
But you're used to that, right?
yes, actually less. I'm used to less.
I'm sorry. You gave me a softball on that one. I had to hit the home run.
Lobbed it in there.
Something that is not a home run. Steven Spielberg thinks that Netflix and Hulu movies should not win Oscars.
Who is even Steven Spielberg? Does he think he's that good? Like, who even is this guy?
So is this kind of?
He's only made a few movies.
Is this because it's kind of more like TV instead of actual?
Yeah, he says once he basically his argument that it was more of a TV movie than a movie, like a theater movie. So it shouldn't win an Oscar.
I don't know. Some of those Netflix, at least the Netflix, Hulu maybe not so much. Hulu definitely does TV shows, but some of the Netflix movies have been, studio quality movies. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
I think that some of the TV shows have been almost close to movie quality.
Black Mirror.
Fair enough.
I think Altered Carbon had a very
right. That's what I was going to say. Altered Carbon.
Stranger Things could have been a good movie too. Like if they made that into a movie, like that would have been a pretty good movie.
I don't think I've watched a Netflix movie yet. Wait.
Bright?
What's the most? Oh yeah, you're right. Right. Okay. I forgot.
I mean, that's not going to be winning any Oscars anyways.
No.
Right. That's not right. But still, quality wise, it was. You could.
Yeah, it was a movie.
Theaters.
Right. If you asked somebody who didn't know that it was a Netflix original, like if they saw it in theaters, like they wouldn't have known. They wouldn't have said, "Oh no, it wasn't in theaters." They'd have been like, "No, I didn't get a chance to go see it."
Right. Like you're like, "Oh, did you like?" If you showed them a trailer and they're like, "Oh, you like, oh, you want to buy tickets?" They'd be like, "Oh yeah," or no, so they wouldn't think like, "Oh, I need a Netflix subscription or anything."
Right.
Yeah, I guess I don't think they've had that one like really big movie yet that kind of gives you like a movie theater feel. I don't know. I guess maybe there's still like that gap of like certain movies feel a certain way if you go to the theater and see it, and then I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe he thinks Netflix movies don't have that big movie feel to it yet. I don't know.
Look, Spielberg, we're not going to make another ET. Just relax. God damn. Like he's done Oscar-worthy movies.
Show me your resume.
Right. How many Oscars has he actually won?
Wouldn't it be funny if he's
won that. I don't think he's actually won that many.
So he won for Best Director for Saving Private Ryan. He won Best Picture for Schindler's List. He won Best Director for Schindler's List. He won something in 1987 for Memorial, and then everything else looks like he's been a nominee.
Okay.
So,
well, fine.
All right.
Got a few awards to your name. Think you're special now.
Right.
Yeah, just because everybody likes your movie, just because everybody likes Hook. God damn.
That's only because Glenn Close was in it.
Yeah. So I know I saw that and I was just kind of like, it's kind of interesting that he would say that, but I guess I kind of understand it, but at the same time I'm like, if it's a movie, it's a movie. It shouldn't really matter if it's
right.
But yeah, that's
Don't you hate it when a director you really like talk shit? We didn't really talk shit about him.
Right. Or like anyone really.
God damn.
Just like just stop.
Like, why couldn't it come from a director who wasn't good? Like, and then when they talk about, like, what's the last good movie you made? And then we're like, oh shit, it was The Post, or it was Lincoln, or I'm literally naming the nominee movies that he did. So it's like, that's a lot. Also, quick side note: looking at these movies that he was nominated for, and seeing that he was not like a nominee but didn't win, I'm like, I'm like, what movies actually beat these out? Like some of these are like ridiculous. Like I don't know. In 1982, he was nominated for Best Director on Raiders of the Lost Ark. What else came out in 1982?
Let's find out.
Let's Google.
I don't know.
We can move on. We can move on.
Live Googling on the Fanboy 4, dude.
Live Googling. Bow, bow, bow.
Before we move on, not the tangent. You got to remember, in 1982, when Raiders of the Lost Ark came out, it wasn't Raiders of the Lost Ark like we know now. You know, it wasn't what it was.
It hadn't grown the.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
Definitely not one of those. So the winner that year was Chariots of Fire.
Yep.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
No
Well,
idea.
I've never heard of any of those other than Raiders of the Lost Ark, so the Oscars can suck it because Will Smith still doesn't have.
Directing.
Yeah.
Oscar
I know.
was
Yeah.
for Reds. Movie
Hmm?
called Reds.
But it still wasn't Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I like how that's the one you go to.
Like,
That's the only one I
the
know.
greatest movie. He's just like gonna like go on this this like quest now just to be like it's the best movie ever, even though he doesn't actually think that. He's just like we're gonna do an episode about a whole entire deep dive on Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Damn,
And why it's
Harrison
the
Ford-
best movie. He
Harrison
should have
Ford
won.
wasn't
the
even-
Jurassic Park.
True. Jurassic Park.
You tell me you put rated. I might put. I don't know. That's for a different day. That's for a different podcast.
Add it to the note. We're doing
Add
a
it to the
production
note.
meeting while we're doing it. Josh, you're getting a live look in at a production meeting. Thanks for watching. All right, let's move on. Comic books.
Comics.
Comics.
All right. So
What's your favorite comics? Eddie Murphy, Jerry Seinfeld.
different comics. Anywho, Marvel and DC have a lot kind of going on, especially Marvel within the next few months. So we're gonna deep dive into it. And where do we want to start? Do we want to start Marvel? Or do you want to start DC? Marvel, got it. Okay, cool.
Ladies first. So DC. Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say we can start DC.
Yeah, I guess you know what? There's a lot more to unpack with Marvel. We'll start with DC. We'll go in easy first, and then we'll get to the rougher stuff later.
oh okay. I was expecting you to be like, we're gonna go alphabetical order, but you went a way different direction.
All right. So here's a few things that DC is doing coming up. So I'm gonna read a list, and then we're just gonna go. I have some questions based on that to discuss. So basically, the first week in May, that Wednesday, DC's releasing DC Nation, which is kind of like a primer to all their events over the summer. It comes out the Wednesday before Free Comic Book Day, which is kind of interesting because they don't actually have anything on Free Comic Book Day other than DC Superhero Girls. So I'm thinking originally it was supposed to, but they're trying to get ahead of the
Best comic ever.
So, and then April, I believe 18th is Action Comics 1000. They've a few months ago they launched that New Age of Superheroes that continues to release new titles, and that's that's going after Dark Knight's Metal. Bendis is going to be taking over Superman, was formerly Marvel, now in DC. He's doing all the Superman books. He's going to be starting with a Man of Steel miniseries, which starts in, I believe, late April. Hawkman and Plastic Man are both getting their own solo comics. Scott Snyder is going to take over Justice League, and then just this past week, and this wasn't in the news, but just because we're talking about it here, 2 new Justice League books were announced: Justice League Dark and Justice League Odyssey. Justice League Dark is by the former writer of Detective Comics. Justice League Odyssey is by the current writer of Flash. So some of their better writers are on all their Justice League books. Then there's also a new book. So Teen Titans is no longer Teen Titans. It's New Titans. And there's going to be a new team with that. And then also Titans is getting a whole new team as well. I mean, roster on their thing. Batman is supposed to be getting married to Catwoman. Flash World is going to be happening. DC Black Label is launching sometime this summer.
Ooh, Black Label.
And actually, that's everything. So there's probably more. There's other storylines that, like, for instance, Deathstroke and Batman are not really crossing over, but in Deathstroke, Batman and Deathstroke are fighting because Deathstroke might actually be Damian Wayne's father. So there's a bunch of stuff going on otherwise, but that's just some of the highlights. So first thing I want to ask you is, of all that stuff I named or things I didn't name, what are you guys most interested in? And since Tony's the biggest DC fan of any of us, I'll start with Tony. What are you looking forward to the most in the next few months that they've announced?
First of all, that would be a great Maury episode. Batman and Deathstroke doing You are not the what? You are not the father, but I am the knight still. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
So far, what I'm pretty excited about is the Black Label stuff, and because from what I was reading, I guess it's more like they're kind of letting the writers write stuff out of continuity. It's not they have to stick to the continuity, which I think is pretty cool. Because I mean, you got like Killing Joke. I guess Killing Joke is technically in continuity, but it's not continuity. It's a very weird book and stuff like that. So like All-Star Superman. So I'm down. I'm down for that stuff. I'm a little curious about the Justice League stuff with Scott Snyder, just because like he's very like he works with Batman because he's a horror like he likes to write horror stuff kind of. That's kind of that's where I know him from. It's like writing like horror monster stuff. So Batman kind of fits in with that. So just seeing him in like a Justice League book or like that kind of stuff was like more, I guess, more brighter in a sense or less like gloom and doom. That'll be interesting to see.
They should have Zack Snyder do it.
Well, actually, to what you're saying, Tony, it almost sounds like it would have made more sense for him to be doing Justice League Dark. So that's like the horror end of Justice League, kind of. So it's like that would have probably made more sense. But then again, he's like probably their biggest writer, other than Geoff Johns, who doesn't really write all that often now. So
because he wrote a Superman book, but like nobody ever talked. Like it was pretty good, but nobody ever mentions it. I think it was like him and Jim Lee. Like he wrote and Jim Lee did the art, but it's very good, but it's not like nobody really gives him props or anything for it. People know him for more like Swamp Thing and Batman. So it'd be interesting to see. And I kind of like the all the other like branching. This makes me a hypocrite kind of for saying this how I talk about Marvel, but I do kind of like the branching Justice League teams more because I like obscure characters in DC and stuff like that. And and I can't complain about a Justice League with a dark side in it. So
I know. I still
what is there to complain about?
Oh my god. You had them ready. You had them motherfuckers ready.
He's been sitting there just like, yes.
Right?
Finally my time has come.
And I'm also actually a little more excited for Justice League because it is more of the like animated Justice League. I think it's like Hawkgirl, Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter. It is kind of more reminiscent of the old animated Justice League. So that gets me,
that team,
that whole what they call it, the Timverse of the
Timverse, yep.
Hey, you dig from there, and I'm happy.
Steven, I know you love DC too, man. What are you reading from all this?
So first question actually is this is actually not about the comics. Plastic Man, is that who the guy in Flash that stretches? Is that supposed to be the same guy? Okay.
Yes. No, they're two different people. The elongated man and
yes, I'm sorry.
Elongated man, that's what it was.
But
okay.
Plastic Man's cooler.
Got it. Okay. Do they have the same powers?
No, Plastic Man. I think he can change his look. I can't remember if elongated man can do that. I think he can just stretch.
Oh.
But like Plastic Man, he can like look like other things.
Okay. Cool. I'll stop there so I don't spoil anything for Flash for people who haven't watched it yet. I'm interested to see how the Bendis thing works, how he does it with Superman, because obviously he did some really great stuff with Marvel. So DC's getting a pretty good guy there, and for him to take over kind of the one of the main guys other than Batman, it's kind of like it's pretty interesting to see. I'm also curious the Batman wedding, like which idea came out first, the Batman wedding or like the Kitty and Colossus wedding? Like we're gonna do wedding comics.
I think
I can't feel like I hear about that more.
Like hinted at first.
Yeah. Like I just thought,
Yeah, that Batman, that was like, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for up until like probably like half a year ago, like Kitty was dating Star-Lord, or maybe it was a little longer ago than that.
Damn, only 6 months and she's getting married. Whew.
Yeah. Actually, what's funny enough is that just today I read the X-Men Gold issue where they like agreed to do it, basically. And by do it, I mean get married. Not. I read that issue yesterday.
Doing it is after.
Right. Yes, you do it afterwards. Jeez.
They did it
last
before.
thing for me. They probably did it all. Third Eye don't they have their own Action Comics variant?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that's all doing. Shout out Third Eye Comics.
God damn it! I'm gonna buy like the book 10 times. God damn it!
Tony's got a bunch of variant covers.
Yeah, there's a few cool variants. I'm just gonna limit myself to one and just be done with it.
Do you want the Third Eye variant?
I'll think about it.
Okay. You better ask the CFO.
True.
Don't ask. Just add it into your.
The thing is like it's one of those things where like I'm not even really like I don't read Action Comics really. Like I was kind of reading the trades like as they came out, kind of thing. But like I'm not really like an active reader of it or anything Superman for that reason or for that matter. Which is that'll probably change when Bendis takes over. But so I actually put that Man of Steel like miniseries on my pull list. But like I just want it because it's a monumental issue, really. And then the thing is, I was thinking about like Detective Comics is at like 978 today. So next year, Detective Comics will be having their 1,000, which that'll be like, oh god,
right?
So
yeah, that's it for me for DC.
True. Brandon, anything you're looking forward to?
Well, considering the last thing I read from DC was Scott Snyder's Batman, I'm pretty excited about Justice League actually because he's probably one of the best writers that I know of. Also, considering like I don't really follow or get into DC that much, I feel like the Black Label books might be pretty interesting to me, just because it's like something condensed and like finite that I can read and just have like not even worry about like what happens next and stuff like that. That's probably the only two things I guess I would say looking forward to. How many times are they gonna change the Teen Titan roster though? Like I feel like this is like the 10th time in a year.
because now it's Damian. Okay, so I think it's Damian, and then it's still Kid Flash. It's Red Arrow, I think is the one, and then it's Lobo apparently has a daughter named Crush. She's on the team, and then Roundhouse, and then there was one other person that I don't remember, but they were kind of like obscure or like new characters. But basically, I guess Damian they're not technically the Teen Titans. I guess they're technically like it's like Damian's tired of doing things the right way, so he's going to do it his way. So,
yeah, well, it really seems like they keep at least one character from that main original cast.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I guess Damian's not the original Robin, but he's still a Robin.
Right. Because in Titans is Nightwing. The new Titans team is Nightwing. And then it's like most of the people from Teen Titans, like Starfire and Beast. Oh, no, Starfire's not there. It's Beast Boy. I don't know. There's a few people I forget, but I didn't write down. But it's basically like the people that were on Teen Titans, like a lot, like part of them went to this, and then like the rest, I don't know. But me. The Black Label stuff I'm kind of interested in because, like you said, it's out of continuity. So it's like, hey, I actually said the word right. Yeah, go me. But anyways, like I just think that because like I think Frank Miller is writing one of the Batman books, and it's like, oh, that's interesting because like he's like old as dirt, so it's like cool as coming back and writing a Batman story. Like it's gonna be separate, and then Scott Snyder's thing sounds kind of cool too. I think it's if I'm correct, Scott Snyder's one where like literally Joker's body just is found like on a bridge or something, and it's like so that should be interesting.
Oh yeah.
And then
Quick question: those Black Label books, are they supposed to be like? There's going to be like 10 issues, or is it literally just going to be? Okay, so they're going to come out as issues as opposed to an actual.
From what I understand, they're going to be like it'll probably more like probably anywhere between like 3 to 5. I don't think they'll be like too long. I don't know. They really have they basically announced the label, and then they're like, these are some of the things. They didn't announce like prices. They didn't announce nothing other than that. I think because I think they don't come out till August, if I remember correctly. Like of everything we're gonna probably talk about today, I think those are the furthest out. So I think a lot of stuff doesn't come out till later in the summer. But I'm excited for Flash War, even though I'm like 6 or 7 issues behind on Flash. But Flash is probably my favorite character, so I'm really excited for that, as you can see. And then
popping shit up left and right. Brandon, do you have anything to just shove in front of your?
Here you go. I just got this random comic laying around.
There you go. Hawkeye vs. Deadpool. Done. We did it. I will say I'm excited for DC Nation Zero or whatever with like the Joker story and then like all the other stuff that's like kind of leading into No Justice, and I think it's I think Bendis has a story in there with Superman, but I do think it's really interesting that it's a quarter and then it comes out the Wednesday before the Free Comic Book Day. I just was like, what are you up to? Because like before, if like even if you still go to Free Comic Book Day shop or the website, Oh, cool. Some stuff fell over there. Never mind. Anyways, but the one thing it was like a box fell over, and I was like, "What's going on over there?"
Oh, you got ghosts.
The ghost.
Scott Snyder. What the fuck are you talking about on DC Nation?
He's like, talking shit about DC. About to DC these nuts.
God.
Anyways, but I just think it's very interesting because they even on their on the Free Comic Book Day website, it's like top secret DC book, and I almost guarantee that's what the book was. Like it had to have been that. And they're just like, wait, we can get up ahead of and like get not drowned and all these other stuff. I bet you, which is smart on their part, but it's just interesting that they went that route instead of trying to be a part of the whole event. But
I think, like you said, they kind of want the day to themselves. They want that Wednesday to themselves. They don't want to share it with nobody, which is smart. I mean, for that day or that, it's the week. Is it the week before?
Yeah, it's the Wednesday before.
Yeah, so you mean for a few days you have the cycle to yourself, like 2 or 3 days.
For 3 days.
And plus, like, comic book shops are going to have like a ton of them. So they're like, even on Free Comic Book Day, if you wait to get it till then, you still can get it at Free Comic Book Day. It's just a quarter.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
because I think
some place might just give it away, so we know.
Right. Because it's a quarter. It's free digitally too. So like, if you didn't want to have a paper copy, you can get it for free. So, just interesting. I'm excited to read it though, because like the War Joke and Riddles with Batman, Joker was kind of like, it was a story in Batman's history, not something current. Whereas this is how he's getting involved with this whole wedding, which actually that leads into my next question. Do you think Batman will actually successfully marry Catwoman, or will one of them like get cold feet? Will Joker somehow screw it up, or some other villain? Like, do you think they'll actually successfully get married?
I think 2 things will happen. Either they're going to kill Catwoman, or they'll actually get married.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
I
think though, do you actually want him to get married?
Sure, why not? I mean, it's silly. I mean,
everybody needs some love in their life, right?
Yeah.
Look, it is funny at this. We're to the point now in Batman's life. He has Alfred, which is like his dad, basically at this point. He has a son. He has damn near 3 sons and a daughter. He has Barbara, Jason, Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, and has his actual son. I mean, why not? Let's let him get married at this point. Goddamn, he has a whole goddamn family.
He need to keep it in his pants.
I mean, hey.
Well, they're not all.
He is the knight.
I understand.
Yeah, but I agree with you, Tony. The thing is, at first when I kind of heard that they were going to do it, I'm like, oh, I wonder how that'll kind of be. Because usually sometimes stuff like that just doesn't work. It just kind of doesn't. Because like Batman's always kind of he's Batman. Now you're filming this other character that also. But like the lead ups, like because they've had some issues where they did stuff together and stuff like that, like fighting crime and stuff, and it's actually worked. Like it's been pretty good. Company's done a good job. So like I'm okay with them actually getting married. I'm just curious how if it's actually gonna happen, or like because I could see like this being like a massive thing. Because I think it's like issue 50 too, so it's gonna be a bigger issue. It's gonna be a big thing, and like they have all these like one shots leading up to it too, where like all like I know like Harley Quinn versus Joker is like one of them, and then it's Damian Wade versus Ra's al Ghul. Like there's like 5 of them, I think, and I'm just like they're putting a lot of lead up into this, and I'm just wondering if they're just gonna like that last page is gonna be like, oh, Catwoman got murdered. Like that's what's going on.
Murder.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly thinking that it'll end up with them getting married because I mean, at this point, like it's been dragged on for so long, and they've been making it a big deal, and we know the history of him and Catwoman. So at this point,
I wonder if they like do actually get married, like if it like kind of changes him as a character a little bit, or like because I mean, it's like how do they like go to? I mean, I guess obviously she's pretty busy on her own, but it's like they've got to acknowledge her more often, right? In the future comics and stuff like that, and like he's got to be a little bit happier than he usually is, right?
I mean, he had a son he loves, so he ain't been that happy. I mean, they might just make it where like they're married and kind of like okay, we're married, and then like you said, they're kind of they split them apart when they need to. Or, like she'll do her own thing. He'll be like, oh, she's in Rome for like a year, and back. Or they might. I mean, but then that kind of brings into like them maybe killing her and making him more like a darker, like seeing how that affects him, or like the woman he's gonna marry gets murdered.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I could also see something where maybe not right away, but maybe like in the future they'll kind of be like, oh, Batman's gonna like he just wants like him and Catwoman just want to like settle down and not do that respect and like move. Like he'll pass on the mantle to someone else even. Like I know they've done that before, but I'm saying like maybe he'll give it maybe like Damian Wayne he'll give like you're Batman now. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can see what you're saying, like, because they've even done it a few times already where he's like, I gotta go do this alone. Like, and then it's like 3 issues later, they're like, oh, okay, Catwoman's back. So,
Yeah.
DC. I should probably just stop reading DC.
Why? It's the best,
wait,
it's the best comic coming out nowadays.
I know. I just actually haven't read anything DC in a while. Even though I collect it, but I just haven't read it. But same can be said for Marvel. So
yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. That's just a general statement about comic books.
yeah, that's just a general statement about comic books.
All right. So next up, do you think? Well, I don't want to phrase this. I'll just put how I have it. Are you excited for Bendis taking over Superman? Do you think that like? If you weren't interested before, are you interested now anymore, or is it still kind of like whatever?
I'm not going to read it, but I'll be excited to see what everybody else thinks. Like, I'll be excited to see his reviews and like people's opinions on it.
Yeah, same.
Same here.
I mean, well, maybe I'll read it after
it.
I get it.
What? I mean, I'm excited to read it. I'm excited to see like Bendis out of his like comfort zone. He's been doing Marvel for so long. I'm waiting to see how invigorated he is now that he's doing something different. And he's working with new superheroes and stuff. So I'm curious to see.
You could definitely give him that fresh blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'm gonna get that Man of Steel miniseries, like I said, because supposedly this was kind of tell like a new origin story for him a little bit. So I'm kind of interested to read that, and then from there I'll decide if I want to continue reading Action Comics or Superman or whatever. But I'll give it a shot. I think it's like 5 or 6 issues or something like that. So it's like, okay, I'll give him obviously an arc, sell me on it, and then. So and then. Oh, final thing. So. With the shakeup of all these Justice League rosters and these new Justice League books, do you think that this is a good thing, or do you think it's too much now that there's 3 Justice League books, basically?
I mean, I would prefer one Justice League book, but I mean,
earlier you said you like how they're branching out,
right?
I do. But I mean, in a perfect world, I want one Justice League book, one Batman. Well, no, I can take as many Batman books.
So you'd want those characters in a different team, but with a different name or something like that.
Sure, because I mean, I like just call it a different team. You're not the Justice League. The Justice League is the Justice League. So I don't know.
Like they could be like the Dark League or something.
That's racist, Brandon.
The DL.
Yeah.
Hey, we're on a DL.
I don't know if they vary him enough and make him seem different enough. Then I'm cool with it. I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm honestly, unless it's something I really click with, I'm just gonna probably just read the main Justice League book. That's what I've been doing. I haven't read like Justice League Dark. I haven't read like Justice League of America. It's been just Justice League.
Justin, I can't hear you. You're talking. Can anybody else hear Justin? Technical difficulties?
Nope, can't hear him. Can he hear us?
No,
he cannot. So was he robotic earlier, or was it just me? Okay,
no, he was
cool.
I was my headset down?
I was hearing his questions.
Okay, I was kind of going off the note, and I sometimes my connection obviously is a little shitty sometimes, so I was just curious as to why. Nope, we cannot hear you, Justin.
No, it was all Justin.
All right, cool. So while he fixes that, I'll just kind of finish going through the note. I think, let me see, roster shakeups. I think that was pretty much all the questions that we had for DC.
Yeah.
All right, so while he was working on that, we'll just switch over to Marvel. So this is Marvel's fresh start, basically starting in May, right? Starts in May, the whole fresh start thing, and then obviously goes throughout all the summer.
Yeah, I mean it kind of. I mean, it's supposed to start in May, but I feel like a lot of the stuff doesn't really get into action until like June.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's right after, you know.
Yeah. Like I mean, like Dan Slott. Like he doesn't start the Iron Man until actually I think July, because
yes, we got you now.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure like the pen or the number 800 is either it. Wait, is it? I think it's June.
Yeah, and then there's 801. He actually does.
Yeah, so he's because he's got 2 issues to do inside of June. So technically, he like the new Spider-Man and the new Iron Man don't start until July.
And then Captain America doesn't start until July 4th.
Yeah, July. Hold on, I had it on this. Yeah, but like you said, it's almost like because like I think Avengers, Venom. I think there's a couple other that start in May, but it's basically like Avengers and
Thor, I guess, because I mean, it's already pretty much over with now.
Actually, I think even that one starts in June, but in May they have like a one-shot kind of thing because it's like it's called Thor Gates of Valhalla, and it's basically just like Thor. I don't know what actually happens in Thor because obviously I'm not there yet, but because it's not out. But it's basically I think Jane Lynch, whatever happens to her, transitioning.
Did you say Jane Lynch?
Jane Lynch.
Jane Lynch.
Foster. Fuck. Sorry. Got me all shaken up. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Facebook thing. That it doesn't even show the post, which is kind of weird. Which I shared it. Whatever. Yeah, because like Deadpool, Doctor Strange, Immortal Hulk, that's all June. Yeah, but like May is like it's kind of like starts. It's almost like that's like a transition month, and then June's when it really kind of ramps up, and then July kind of continues. But
they'll just still be riding the Infinity War high basically in May, like just from the movie, and then
I think that's probably why they did it that way.
Don't we get the free comic book?
Yep.
For free comic book day for the Infinity. Is it Infinity Countdown that we're getting the free one for?
It's it might technically be Infinity Wars because that's the new thing they announced I think yesterday.
Yeah.
Was if Infinity Countdown once that's over, then it's Infinity Wars is like the main event or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, but Marvel has a ton of stuff kind of going on because I mean they got like let's see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 8 new series, like just brand new series, basically. And then they got then they have some series that are kind of like rebranded, like Immortal Hulk and X-23 and like stuff like that. And like Tony Stark Iron Man, obviously, is Tony Stark coming back. So like, and then the Avengers team is even different. Like everything, like it's definitely a big change, and
it's definitely a fresh start.
It's definitely a fresh start. Yes, it is.
Another like, fresh start.
And the thing is, most of these new comics are new writing teams too. So it's like, it's not like they're retaining a lot of anything from before. And then obviously they have events like we were talking Infinity Wars and Infinity Countdown, and then that like you mentioned earlier, that Kitty Pride,
the
wedding, but that's getting its own one shot. Hunt for Wolverine starts at the end of April. And then, like he said, Spider-Man 800, you got Iron Man, Daredevil, Deadpool, all having... Well, Daredevil came out today, but they all have anniversary, like, supersized issues. So, like, there's a lot of stuff going on. And it's, like, almost a little bit like, holy crap. Like, there's so much going on. Like, what are you even, like... If someone... Like, on one hand, I get it, because, I'm like you said, Infinity War high, people will be super excited. But at the same time, I might be, like, a little, like, what? Like...
Yeah. Well, I feel like Infinity War is gonna like with all of the new stuff coming out, people are like, man, I really like Doctor Strange. Man, I really like Spider-Man, Captain America. So they're like, we have all of these. Come buy them. And then,
Yeah.
That's definitely. That'll be pretty good.
We'll start with you, Steven. What things of this list, of all the stuff that is on our list, that you think, what do you think is like the things you're most excited for?
So the characters with the new comics, the Ant-Man and the Wasp, I'll probably look at picking that one up because, I mean, I like obviously like the movies where I kind of started from, but I like that team. And then if that's going to start kind of when the movie is, I'm pretty sure I'm going to like the movie, and then the movies will be like, I should get the comic because hopefully it's like the movie. So Ant-Man and the Wasp is one. Wakanda Forever because Black Panther. Why not, right? I got Black Panther, Rise of the Black Panther, so why not get Wakanda Forever? The new writing teams, obviously Captain America, I'm going to pick up. The Tony Stark Iron Man, I'll have to. The event definitely with Jason Aaron because it's Jason Aaron. So why wouldn't you get that? And then Immortal Hulk, I'll definitely probably look at picking up. Storylines, I mean, Infinity Wars, and probably the Kitty Pryde and Colossus wedding because it's X-Men related. But I mean, mostly everything, really. You know, I'm excited.
that was the thing.
I was saying that's probably the whole.
Could have just said everything,
right?
I was writing up the note yesterday as I was sitting next to Melissa, and I was just like, "Damn!" Like I said out loud. She's like, "What?" I'm like, "All these things with new teams that are on my subscription list," and she just shook her head. I'm like, God damn.
That's why I said I need to stop getting my DC stuff so that I can add this Marvel stuff without like just try to replace it as opposed to just like growing the list.
Yeah, that's actually what I did. I stopped getting Suicide Squad, and then I think I added I added Thanos. I think that's when I added Thanos a few months ago.
But I mean, yeah, it all looks good. I mean,
yeah, and the thing is, like a lot of these new teams, I think they've done a good job with as well. Like I don't see any. There's only one like new writer where I'm kind of like, and it's just the X-23, just because I kind of honestly feel like they kind of mishandled X-23 / Wolverine when she was Wolverine, like as Wolverine. Like there was X-Men Blue and Gold, and yet she was not the Wolverine on the team. This is kind of
it was Jimmy Hudson and Old Man Logan.
Like, you want the son of Ultimate Wolverine to be the X-Men. Like you couldn't have just had her. Like I don't know. It just seems like they kind of mishandled it. And then like, oh, an Old Man, like they did two like alternate reality Wolverines as the Wolverines. It's like, why didn't you just have the Wolverine as the Wolverine? And they finally put her in at Red, but by that time it was already like, oh, she's done being Wolverine. And the whole reason she became Wolverine is because she didn't want to be known as X-23 anymore. So I'm wondering how they're going to explain now that she's like, oh no, I'm cool with it now.
She's got to come up with a new name.
They should just call her Laura or whatever. Just I don't know. But
I mean, no one calls Jean Grey Miss Marvel, or not Miss Marvel, but Marvel Girl.
Right. True.
There are some references in X-Men Blue. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's sometimes some villains are like Marvel Girl, blah blah blah. You know, they'll say something like that. Like
she's like, I don't go by that name anymore.
Yeah. Brandon, what are you looking forward to besides Spider-Man? Spider-Man and more Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, obviously Spider-Man, like you said. Other than that, probably the Captain America.
Goddamn right.
Definitely the Avengers. Jason Aaron is probably my favorite writer right now. So, Immortal Hulk, I think really looks cool. Like I like the at least the aesthetic that they have with like the horror elements and stuff like that. And then what else? Right now, I'm not caught up yet, but I plan to still keep on reading with Doctor Strange, and Mark Waid is a pretty good writer as well. As for events, I guess honestly the only one I'm probably, I mean, besides like the Spider-Man 800, like the only ones I'm really like I probably plan on reading is probably Infinity Wars, like, and maybe I guess Countdown since it leads into it. Hunt for Wolverine, I might wait on. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
And then obviously, Thor. I mean, even though that's still Jason Aaron, so
yeah,
I'll still be reading that. Obviously, I think that's. And then obviously, I guess you've been hyping Donny Cates so much, so I might give Venom a try.
Yeah,
I really like. I I can't remember who was writing him when they first started his like solo thing. It was like Agent Venom. I can't remember, but it was really good, and I really liked it. And then they went to after I can't remember who the hell was writing it, but then they went to Cullen Bunn, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't nearly as good as the original like first 12 issues or whatever. And I'm hoping maybe Donny Cates can kind of reel it in and bring it back to like its kind of
former glory.
I guess, huh?
Former glory.
Yeah.
Well, Justin, the only reason that he's hyped over Donny Cates is because he replied to him on Twitter. So that's
and he replied to AMA on Reddit, and he replied to me there too. He's like my best friend now.
Stalker.
Like BFFs. No, Thanos is just honestly, it's probably my favorite thing right now. Like that's why I like Donny Cates, and that's why I'm like, okay, I'm gonna check out his other stuff now because, like, I have Doctor Strange, I just haven't gotten to reading it yet, but I hear that's good too. But that's actually, I think, the thing. After I get done with X-Men Gold, I think that's the next thing that's gonna be read. But yeah, but
has anybody read Doctor Strange Damnation?
No,
the newest thing for
that's
Doctor
part of my
Strange
thing,
one, right?
He writes that too.
In Vegas?
I think so.
Yeah,
not yet.
But
it's actually written.
They keep putting it in my box.
Yeah, because basically it's kind of a continuation of like it's an aftermath kind of thing of Secret Empire.
Yeah,
basically because Vegas got destroyed in Secret Empire. Spoilers, too late, but now you know. and basically, although that was almost a year ago already, so it's like if you don't know by now, I guess you just don't get to know.
Yeah,
without getting spoiled. But basically, and then basically, so the writer of Secret Empire, Nick Spencer, who's the guy that's taken over Spider-Man, is writing Damnation with Doctor Strange's writer Donny Cates, which is the guy who also writes Thanos. So it's from what I heard, it's been pretty good. That's why it's the next thing I want to read. But
yeah,
I got so much to read, so I'm just trying to wade through it. But yeah, and then the other thing I was gonna mention is you said Hunt for Wolverine. Like I was excited for that when it was like a one shot, like it was just gonna be a one shot. But now there's like a one shot that kind of like starts the story, and then there's 4 separate series that are like with it. I'm like, oh god, like give me a break here. Even with Infinity Countdown, there's like 5, like there's like a Dark Hawk series, and I'm like, I don't even know who the fuck Dark Hawk is, to be completely honest. So I don't know. Tony, what are you excited of all this stuff from Marvel?
So I have a few things I'm excited for. Obviously,
what? Oh,
yeah. Obviously, Captain America, because he is my favorite Marvel character. So I'm excited about him. I'm excited about that. Thor #1, Jason Aaron. What more do you need to say? Avengers with Jason Aaron, which I'm very excited for. Because I would say, I think as of right now, if I had to pick like what my favorite like comic series, it would be Scalped, which is Jason Aaron. So the fact that he's getting a lot of like high tier like books, that makes me very excited and very, very interested to read more of his stuff. There was 2 other ones. I'm gonna check out Spider-Man. I'm gonna check out Spider-Man again just because I like Ryan Otley, his art, and Nick Spencer. He's been pretty good. He's been doing pretty good stuff.
I heard Brandon say you can't borrow his books. You gotta get your own.
Goddamn right.
Brandon, how did you used to be Spider-Man? How did you catch up? How did you used to catch up with Spider-Man?
Not important.
Okay, all right. So the one thing I'm actually really like excited for, even though it's not like I don't think it's confirmed, I think it's just a lot of people speculating, is Chip, I can't say his last, Zarsky, how do we say his last name?
Zarsky?
There's been talks of like, that he might, or people have been thinking, want him to write a Fantastic Four book, because he writes the book now with Johnny Storm and things. So I am pretty, if that does happen, because I read his book Sex Criminals, which is very good, and he is a very good writer. So I am pretty excited, and I have been reading the book with Torch and Thing. So I am pretty excited to see if maybe they'll start the Fantastic Four back up, because I think they're supposed to have an event or something happening in that book that involves the Fantastic Four together, and that they might just
kind of supposed to be just like a short, I think a 5 or 6 episode or like issue thing, and now it's an ongoing. So it's like, so obviously they're going to continue.
Yeah, and Yeah, and I've seen like speculation that that book might kind of just transition into Fantastic Four at a certain point.
Also, funny enough, is that Donnie Cates on Twitter and Chip Zdarsky kind of were almost teasing that they're working on something else together. So I'm wondering, like, what would you need two writers for? So I'm wondering if it's going to be like what you're saying, like maybe like a Fantastic Four event kind of thing. Because he's not going to be doing Doctor Strange anymore because that's going to Mark Waid. So he just has Venom and then he has Cosmic Ghost Rider, which is coming out. But that's a miniseries too. So that's just a spinoff from Thanos. So that's like, I wonder what he's going to be doing later this summer. That they keep like teasing it because they were talking about like I forget what it was. It was something like they were making a joke about making a crossover between sex criminals and I want to say it was Redneck maybe from Donny Cates, but like they're like redneck sex criminals or something. They're like joking around that was that, but it's something for Marvel. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's I feel like because everything that they started with Legacy was basically I kind of feel like in hindsight was just to bring characters back. So like, why not the Fantastic Four? And they already brought back, gave two of them their own comic. So why not bring the other two? So
it's like it's almost like they're waiting for something to happen. I don't know. Like they're like, oh, we're just coming too. And something might happen soon that we can, just let's just bring them all back. Still waiting for that Uncanny X-Men. Still waiting. You're
gonna be waiting for a while.
Oh, okay.
But wait, why'd you say okay, Brandon?
I finally found out who wrote originally wrote Agent Venom. It was Rick Remender.
You just I know it. Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, did I not say something? Like,
what did I just say? Yeah. So, but all in all, I'm pretty excited about those books, and just I am kind of excited that they are kind of like I've been wanting them to get kind of back to basics, back to like their old school ways, and kind of focus on more of the main guys. So they got Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man back. They got the three. They got the three back. So
yeah.
So
you know why they're bringing the three back is because those three won't be together in the MCU anymore.
Oh well.
Well, and then also I think Jason Aaron himself was saying that like he plans to make it feel like there's four of them now. Like it's not just the big three; it's the big four, and Black Panther will be included in that. Also, one thing I want to point out that we didn't mention is like I'm assuming this is because Bendis is leaving, but there's no more Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's
like he doesn't have his own book, or he's not. They're not really mentioning him.
I mean, he'll still be in the Champions.
Yeah, he didn't.
I believe. I think there was maybe even rumors of him like renaming.
Huh? You lag slightly, Brandon, on really? My side. I don't know if that's what
which part did you miss?
renaming Spider. Some was Spider-Man being renamed. Something.
Oh, yeah, that was it. I was just saying that he might be renamed, but that's I don't know to what.
Right. Yeah, because it didn't get
Brown Recluse, whatever you call it.
That's racist. That's real racist.
Damn.
Yeah.
So Jessica Jones ended today, and that was a Bendis thing. But at the end, it said like she's returning this fall in a new series. So I'm wondering if in Spider-Man's last issue, if it'll be the same thing, like Miles Morales returns, or they'll be like, oh, check him out in Champions, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What I am really excited for, I'm really excited for Venom, just because Donny Cates is probably my favorite writer, and he seems very excited about it, and he said it was his favorite character.
God, get off his nuts. Jeez.
Oh man. I'm there for it. He's my best friend. I gotta support him now. I support my friend.
I'm surprised you don't have a Donny Cates shirt.
You
don't support me.
Yeah, I do. I said congrats on your solo Fortnite win.
Yeah.
Mark didn't say
that. I know, Mark was an asshole.
Anyways, then what else am I excited for? I'm excited because I feel for like the hunt for Wolverine, but mostly because I kind of feel like afterwards there'll be a Wolverine book where it's just Wolverine, or he'll get added to an X team, maybe. I don't know, but that should be interesting. And then I don't know, just in general, all these writing teams, it seems like they did a good job. I am excited for Immortal Hulk. Like we all said, I kind of feel like that's kind of like I don't read any Hulk anything right now, and I just feel like the direction they're going with it is pretty unique and kind of cool. So it'll be interesting to see. So
that's the one that's supposed to be like a scary book, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like they're going like horror route with it.
Yeah.
So I'll skip that. So well, actually, I think Steven, you're the only one that said, but any of these new series, so Ant-Man and Wasp, you said you were picking up, but like things like Dazzler, X-Song, Sentry, Quicksilver, No Surrender, Multiple Man, like are any of these like, oh yeah, I'm gonna read that?
The Quicksilver one seems interesting, but no, I'll probably just get Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah, what's really interesting about that Quicksilver one to me is it's called Quicksilver No Surrender, which the current Avengers storyline is Avengers No Surrender. So I'm like, does it tie into that like afterwards or what?
Well, they just couldn't come up with the name, and they're like, let's just take this one.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. I didn't know people actually wanted a Dazzler book, but apparently
I didn't know either.
So, all right, I'm of those. The only ones I'm really excited about is Cosmic Ghost Rider, just because he's really cool in Thanos. And I'm on Donny Cates nuts apparently now. I'm just Donny Cates freaking #1 fan. But no, yeah, he's probably my favorite character in Thanos. So that he's getting his own book is pretty cool, even though it's just a short thing. So in hindsight, do you think Marvel Legacy was a good, like, was that a positive thing for Marvel? Because they kind of, just the whole like relaunching with the Legacy numbers and all the, like, just basically because Legacy and if to put like a bow on it, it was kind of like, oh, this is like kind of a transition to this fresh start to bring back all these old characters. Like, and like they did the renumbering, now they're doing the renumbering again. Like, do you think Legacy in like maybe a few years we'll look back and go, oh, it was a good thing, or oh, it wasn't a good thing?
I think they could have did it differently. I think the premise behind it and what they were trying to do, if that's what they were trying to do, is basically transition into this fresh start, was a good idea, but I think that they could have did it a little better. Like I feel like, I don't know, like the numbering thing's a big issue for people. Like it was 700 and now it's back to #1, but it was number 23. So like that's, I don't know. I'll be fine with it if it's a fresh start. It's a fresh start. So Legacy will just be a thing.
I honestly just think they could have just pushed it farther, like made the release date a little closer to the actual fresh start, and that would have been fine. Like, I mean, I can't remember everything that happened, but I feel like nothing really in Legacy was that involved in like anything that's happened recently, except for maybe Wolverine at the end. But,
right, and even that is not actually coming to fruition until like right before this starts, basically.
Right. So it's like I feel like they could have just waited. I think maybe it's entirely possible that they pushed it out early because they were a little worried or something like that. But I think they could have waited, and then other than that, I think it was a good move. I mean, I think it's a good direction that they're going in. I just think they released it a little too early.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Brandon, and I mean I'm more of they should have just did Legacy and then right into fresh start. Kind of like a rebirth into rebirth. I mean, it is kind of, I guess it does kind of rub people the wrong way when you have a relaunch and then, we're going to do a relaunch right again in a few months. You know,
we're relaunching the relaunch.
Yeah. So like if it went from Legacy straight into fresh start, I think that would have been a lot better. So then you don't have people mad like, oh, numbers are changing again. It would have been changed and then we would be into fresh start now. So.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like, I understand why they did the renumbering with Legacy is because they wanted to kind of hit like all this, like Spider-Man 800 and Daredevil 600, like, and all this other, there's like 4 or 5 books that are hitting like monumental issues. So I understand why they did that, but at the same time, I kind of feel like if they would just been like, just done like, even if they just called it Legacy but didn't change the numbers and just continued wherever they were at that point, it would have been like, okay, cool. And then just like no one would have been that upset. And when this fresh start comes out, it's like, oh, hey, now we're going back to #1 because literally, it was like, I think it was the last Wednesday in September is when Legacy One Shot came out, and then October was like when the issues came out. Like, it's not even been that long, so it's kind of like, oh, we went back to these Legacy numbers, and now we're moving right back. It's just like, okay,
it's only
cool.
6-7 months,
right? And like, because the thing is, like, because Batman, like, or like, I know Batman, Superman, like a few of these other like Rebirth books, like they still celebrated their like 800th issue, but it was still numbered the correct issue in like the Rebirth order. It was just like, oh, we have a special variant and it's a little bit thicker. It's $1 more this week. Like, but they still kept it okay without renumbering. Like, I think Marvel could have probably done that, and that would have probably been a little bit more accepted by the people that care about that the most. Like, I don't really care what number it is, but
I think it's almost like it was like treated like a movie trailer for a movie coming out a year later. But it's like that doesn't really work for comics.
Right. Because like you said, that one shot, literally like nothing in that book has, to my knowledge, has come to fruition. And even like that Avenger, like all the Avengers stuff that Aaron put in there is literally for basically set up for his Avengers book. So it's like, why didn't you just wait? Like that one shot even didn't really need to even come out really. So, but yeah, definitely interesting. So basically, in general, we kind of basically feel like they could have done a better job with it, but it wasn't really a bad thing either. Yeah. Do you think so? Basically, a lot of people have been thinking that that Marvel needs to kind of go back to their roots, like Tony was saying. Do you think that this fresh start is going to finally get them to kind of work? Is this going to be their DC Rebirth? Because like DC's Rebirth really kind of like got that line going, and that's made it very, there's been a lot of good books from that. A lot of people, comic community generally thinks DC Rebirth is a really good thing. Do you think fresh start is going to be that for Marvel?
If they stick to it, sure.
Yeah. I think, I agree. If they stick to it, like if they stick to Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man, and even Black Panther, really, if they can just stick to that and keep that without changing anything for however many months, I think that it'll be successful.
Yeah. Like you said, I think as long as they stick to that and don't do another like reboot, relaunch thing when Avengers 4 comes out, they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Like, I think
the Avengers 2, the Avengers comic will need to be
probably know how quickly like everything changes when Infinity War comes out, like when the event is over. Like, I mean, hopefully it doesn't do too much damage, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just there's a lot of question marks. I'm just wondering how it's all going to shake out. And then finally, I think, or was that finally? Oh, that was finally. So now we have the overall wrap up kind of stuff. So who do you think is going to have the better summer, DC or Marvel? Do you think, based on what we know, we don't obviously know too much of July or August, but
how are we grading this? Are we grading it by numbers wise, or are we going to grade it by like the comic book community's
let's just go like overall opinion, not actual sales, because that can be skewed, because DC's got a bunch of stuff like Doomsday Clock and stuff that sell the most always. So
I think they'll both do pretty good this summer. I mean, DC has their comics and everything that are doing really good, and everybody, like, I don't really, for the most part, ever hear anybody say bad things about the comic side of things. So, I mean, I'm sure as long as they stick course to what they're doing and just land everything, they should be fine. Basically the same thing with Marvel. As long as they stick to the fresh start and kind of, stick to it, don't try to divert anything, they'll be fine too. I think both of them will be fine as long as they stick to what they're trying to do now. And don't panic and try to change anything.
I think that if, in theory, Marvel should have the better summer, and that's because of Infinity War. Like, Infinity War hype will cause all Marvel things, including comic books, to spike. It should, in theory. If it doesn't, then I think that means the comics were bad. Like, people read like the first couple ones, and they're like, "This isn't good," and then that's what will be the issue. So, sorry, Brandon, didn't mean to steal your thunder there.
Sorry, what?
I didn't mean to steal your thunder there.
Oh no, I was gonna say no. It's fine. I mean, I agree. Like, I think like Marvel should have the edge mainly because they'll bring in possibly new readers or a little more hype with Infinity War, and then the fact that they're bringing it back a little bit to the basics with the main three and the Avengers and stuff like that. Like, it should probably maybe bring old or like consistent readers back to their side a little bit more if they've kind of lost that edge. So other than that, yeah, I think Marvel have the edge a little bit, but I mean, they're always usually pretty close. So.
Yeah, I basically agree with what all you were saying. Basically, is the summary. I think they'll both do well this summer. If Marvel might, I think that the way they've timed this launch, and it seems like the direction they're going in with their new editor in chief or whatever, it seems like they're going in the right direction. So I could see. I mean, the Legacy was kind of like a start of that, and I kind of feel like maybe this relaunch was more because they switched editors, and maybe he's just like, all right, we need to like start with Infinity War, use that as a boosting point to propel us forward. So I think that Marvel, like you said, I think might have a slight edge just because they got all these new books. And I know when I saw the first time I tried to get into comics before last year was when Civil War came out, because I saw Civil War and I was like, I want to know what happened in the comic books. So then all of a sudden I went and started reading. I had a free month of Marvel Unlimited because there was a promo for Civil War. So basically, it's like enter promo code Civil War and you get a free month of Unlimited. So I started reading Civil War. So
that was actually the only comic I read on my honeymoon.
Really?
The Civil War, the trade basically for Civil War. I brought a few comic books to read like while we were on the beach and like on the plane, but the only one I actually ended up reading was Civil War.
Right. Yeah,
it was good.
That one was
worthy of my honeymoon time.
Worthy of your honeymoon time. But yeah, so I feel like same thing. And the thing is, with all these new number ones, like, and it's basically the main guys from the movie that you want to see, not that the people in the old Avengers thing, like, but if you saw the movie and you're like, oh, I want to read Avengers, like the character, like the team that was in Avengers, you were kind of like, oh, well, some of these people are in the movie, some of them aren't, but some of them, or this guy's in the movie, but he's not really like one of my main guys that I like. Like, oh, where's Iron Man? Where's Captain America? It's so I can see why people maybe weren't going straight to Avengers and getting hooked. So whereas this seems like, plus Jason Aaron's a great writer, so if anyone's gonna write a great Avengers book, it's gonna be him, I feel like, and readers will read it and they'll be good and they'll be hooked. So, but yeah, so basically, in a long-winded version of what you guys said, I think that Marvel will probably do a little, maybe might finally actually like get to where DC's been kind of ruling. I think it's been close, but I feel like DC's kind of like, in like it's sort of his reputation has been like, oh, the better comics. I think Marvel will maybe close that gap. And then
I hope they do.
Yeah. And then we already kind of talked about this a little bit, so we don't really have to talk too much about it. But so Marvel, I mean, if you think about in this past maybe 5-6 years, like DC had New 52 and Rebirth, and that's been like their kind of two main relaunches, whereas Marvel's had like Marvel Now and All New, All Different, Marvel Now 2.0, and then Legacy, and then this. Like, do you think like that, like, what do you like better? Do you like that they kind of like redo it and I guess like try to like stir things up more often, or do you think it's better where DC kind of just does it and then they just kind of roll with it?
So for Rebirth and New 52, like those series with DC, like I feel like those are the two, like you can just know what people talk about when you say that, but like, and like, what characters and like what storylines were in that. But when you're like Marvel Now, All New, All Different, you kind of like all of the different ones they had, you kind of don't like, it's harder because there's so many more to like think of them. I'm trying to say, like, I wish Marvel would have had or couldn't have a New 52 or a Rebirth, like one series that you just can go to without, that's popular, I guess. I don't really.
Yeah, I'm all for like, trying to get new readers and stuff like that, and that's obviously what the whole focus was with like the Marvel Now and stuff like that. But I don't want it to be at the expense of like changing up things just for the sake of changing up things. Like I want it to be because the story drew it there, and it was a good story, and that's like, and it made sense, you know. And that's why I kind of like the new numbering that they're gonna do with Marvel, where it's like it's still got the overall number of like 800 or whatever, and then it's got the number 1 to give you a good jumping on point. So I think like it's where they're going should work, and hopefully that sticks. So.
Yeah. I've been liking the DC stuff a little more because it is kind of the long game with, like, it's kind of what Steven's saying, like Marvel, they've kind of been like, let's try this, let's see what happens here, let's do this again, let's try this again. And I have seen that kind of has burned a lot of like the comic readers, not like the mainstream trying to get into the comics, but like the comic readers, like of them, like kind of like me, were like, I like the legacy character, I like things the way they are or where they were, or like, you know, I like the, you know, structure.
You like the originals.
Like, yeah. And like, you know, I mean, and it's fine to introduce new people. I mean, that always happened. Miles Morales, you know, technically like Dick Grayson going from Robin to Nightwing, that kind of stuff is always good. But like when you make the main things, like the new, try to make them kind of, I don't know, let's say, like kind of like doing the diversity thing for diversity's sake. That kind of thing, which, I mean, it's fine to have it in there, but don't make it the main thing, or like trying to switch things up so just to switch it up. Like
are you talking like Riri Williams as Iron Man, or
and like Sam Wilson as
Captain
America, like that kind of stuff. And like, I don't know, like it's fine to do it and try it out, but don't make it the main.
Yeah,
don't try to push it as the main focal point.
Yeah, don't try to like get new. I mean, I think as long as everything's good, you'll pull in new readers. I feel like Rebirth pulled in people who wouldn't normally read it, and you know, so I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm not. This is not me saying anything for the quality of Marvel stuff. I would say like they have a lot of good quality stuff. It's just that I think they just need to hone it in a little bit. Kind of get more focused. I feel like DC has been focused, especially with Rebirth. I do know a big point of Rebirth was the kind of New 52 kind of did do near the end the Marvel thing of like, we've changing so much shit, you know. We're kind of getting a little out of hand here. We're trying to do a little too much. Let's rein it in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. DC definitely does. I think where Marvel, a lot of people got burned was just that they just didn't like that. They were fine with diversity, but it was just like, oh, we're gonna change all your favorite characters to be new characters, like regardless of what race, color, whatever. They were just like, why are you switching? Why is Iron Man in a coma and now there's someone else as Iron Man? Why is there a different person for Wolverine? Why is there a different person for Thor? It was just too many at once when they did that whole all new, all different thing. And it's like, I understand, you know, it's not like they did it out of like a bad reason, and it was a good idea to try and do that, but I feel like DC does a good job. It's like, oh, so Batman has had this like protege named the Signal. Okay, now he's becoming the Signal. Like, he's his own guy. He doesn't have to be Batman. He doesn't take over Batman. He's his own thing. Like, so it's stuff like that I think they do a better job of. And actually the whole reason, I think it was what you were saying, Tony, was like the one reason I kind of wrote that question is because I was at the comic shop a few weeks ago, and there was a guy that literally said, like, he was literally in there to cancel all his Marvel books because he was just tired of the relaunches. He's like, every single, like, I start reading something and then they just start it over and they just change it. They redo it. They do it. So he was just like, I'm done for it now. I'm going to wait a month or two after it's out and see what people are saying is good, and then I'll jump on. And if I want to really jump on, but he's like, for now, I'm just going to like not read Marvel because it's just, he just feels like he's been burned. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, oh, whatever. Like, I guess I'm not that, I don't really care that much, but I can see where he's coming from, where it's just like, oh, I just started reading, or I've been reading this for a while. Now all of a sudden they're changing it again. Like, oh, now they're changing it again and again and again. And then eventually you're just like, okay, like, this is not even what I was reading in the first place. So moving on kind of thing.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, and like what Steven's saying, like, I think less of the like the diversity and changing everything, that has like that did kind of take the joy out of it for me, of like constantly being like, all right, we're at issue 12, we're gonna relaunch it to #1 again. Like, I think I have maybe 2 #1s of Batman at this point, over like buying comics like over 10 years at this point. I probably have a Captain America maybe 4 or 5, maybe, probably. I don't know. And that does kind of wears you. I'm like, can you just stick? You don't need to change it. Can you just keep the numbering going? You know, because me, I like to see I like to go from 1 to I'll have 1 to 100 or 1 to 200. Not I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
That's exactly that's exactly what Captain America was. Like, you had a Captain America, and then you had the Sam Wilson Captain America, and then you had the Winter Soldier as Captain America, and then they went Captain America Steve Rogers and brought him back, and that was number 1 through 19, and then whatever. Now that they're redoing another, if they could start with these ones in summer, and like Tony's saying, get up to whatever. Like, obviously the Spider-Man ones and other ones like that have obviously this they're the same kind of line as what they're saying, but just keep that continuity for a while. I don't care how long it is, just keep it for at least 6 months. That's how that seems like how Marvel's just we got a new one, we got a new one, we got a new one.
Yeah, and I see the business sense of for our new readers, who are coming in from the movies, it is easy for them to digest number 1 as opposed to 635 or 6 or 920. It's easy for them to digest that. But I mean, me,
at this point in the movies now. At this point in the movies now, with Infinity War, there shouldn't be any new introductions. This is the culmination of the past 10 years for the movies. So if you're just now seeing it, if Infinity War is where you're jumping in, you're just going to jump in on number 1 in the summer and you're going to go. That's what should happen.
Yeah.
And honestly, even too, another thing, just business-wise for Marvel, it makes sense if they can get to issue 25 or 50, because then they can charge more money for that issue and have it be it's an action pack, 50th issue. It's okay, or but they never get there.
Yeah.
So it's because I know when DC's Rebirth, all of them hit 25, every single issue was a $5 issue, and it was a little bit thicker. So it was they probably made, and people were probably oh, whatever, I don't really care, I'll pay the extra $1 for this. So it's
that was
Marvel doesn't get there.
The regular Deadpool series started, I think, 2 years ago. And that got up to 37, 38. But then it was Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe again. Despicable Deadpool. This Deadpool. They had a bunch of other Deadpools. And I'm like, can you just finish this Deadpool? They're not finish it, but continue this Deadpool as opposed to 6 other Deadpool comics.
Because that 25th issue was $10. I was because I remember I was getting the back issue. And I'm like, oh, okay. So then I'll see said the total. I'm like, wait, what? And I was he's this one's $10, and I'm like, well, son of a bitch, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
I mean, it was packed, but it just wasn't.
Yeah.
Then they stopped, and I'm like,
What I'm also wondering with all this stuff, and this is kind of a tangent, is there's been no news about the X-Men. So are those just continuing as is, no changes? Because
we have a special announcement tomorrow. Who knows what the special announcement is going to be?
Yeah, I don't know.
I doubt it's going to be X-Men. It'll literally probably be, this is our Marvel Cinematic Universe Infinity War Prelude comics.
Those are already out.
Oh, well, there you go.
You missed them.
I'm third eye didn't put it in my box.
Someone said that the Spider-Man, there's 4 logos.
Oh yeah, there's 4. There's Black Panther, Spider-Man, Thor, and Captain America, I think.
Maybe, yeah. So some people were wondering.
No. Captain Marvel is one of them.
Yeah, yeah, because it was and then they put hashtag Marvel Comics, but I was just what the, is there going to be I don't know, maybe they're announcing an event that happens later in the year or later in the summer. I don't know. It's just, I was just where are they going with this?
Yeah.
But because some people are well, there's a rumor, a TV show, oh, maybe it's that, but it's marked Marvel Comics. So it's
yeah.
I was and I'm still wondering what's going on with that Marvel video game by the people that made Tomb Raider. So it's are we gonna that's supposedly gonna be at E3? So, but I'm are they gonna just show up at E3, or are they gonna be here's a trailer again to kind of show you what this game is, and then we're gonna show you more at E3 kind of thing? But I don't know, because E3 is not that far away, so it's 2 months, I think. So it's what's going on here with this game?
I think that they'll use Infinity War as leverage for the game. Like I feel like all of the like the video game, the comics, like whatever animated show, like they're gonna use Infinity War's hype to start just dump everything on you, Marvel. It may be overload, but I'm gonna take it all in and get everything. So either way, that announcement tomorrow is from Marvel Comics, though, right? Like the actual comics.
Well, yeah, like it's they had the hashtag Marvel Comics, so everyone's assuming it's a comic announcement.
Okay,
because it's not like the TV like pages aren't promoting it. No one's promoting other than the Marvel Comics, like just a general Marvel page. So you would think if it was like a TV thing, like I don't know. It's just interesting. I'm just curious what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Of course, it's they couldn't have announced it today, so we could talk about it. No, we're gonna wait a day. Although with all the technical difficulties today, I mean, like the Facebook feed crashed, my mic stopped working, Brandon's mic stopped working. Yeah. Like, damn, maybe we should have just waited. But I think that's about it. We've talked quite a bit.
We have definitely talked quite a bit.
And Josh isn't even watching anymore. I saw we had 2 YouTube viewers. I think it was Josh.
Wasn't me.
Bowed on out. So basically, so sorry for technical difficulties. If you make it to this point, I will probably just share the YouTube video on all our pages, just so make sure people can see it if they want to see it. You can follow us on Twitter at Fanboy4Pod. Yeah. Facebook.com is Fanboy4, or Facebook.com/Fanboy4, just say. YouTube, just search Fanboy4. Instagram, Fanboy4Pod. Basically, it's you put Fanboy4 in anything and it'll probably pop it up.
Right.
Steven is at Galvanator93, just about everywhere. You search that, you will find him.
G93.
He is a Fortnite solo victory.
Yeah, see me
winner.
in Fortnite, yo. I will wreck you.
Do it again. Do it again right now. Do it again. Do it again.
Play me. Play me.
We can't. Wait, I can't play you.
Don't play me. Like 1v1 me, bro. It's like that's
1v1 me, bro.
And the map, so both ends of the map,
right? Then they never found each other.
Right. You just have a complex built by the time we reach each other.
The funniest thing I think about when I'm playing Fortnite is like I wonder who's because like you see like all these like celebrities and like sports people like they're playing the game. It's like, did I play with them at one point? Just had no damn clue.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Because you're with 99 other people. Like if you play solo, so it's like, did you play with
literally?
Like, did you
everybody is playing this game.
Literally everyone. Literally, actually, I saw there was one basketball player who was playing PUBG, and I'm like, yeah, you should just play Fortnite, bro.
It's over.
Wait, was that the one? Was that the one where they asked him who he was playing, and they kind of like made fun of another NBA team?
Yeah, basically, what happened is he's just like, the one guy was like, "Oh, just keep playing. We're just playing the Hawks tomorrow, the Atlanta Hawks tomorrow. Like, we can stay up late. We don't need to like get rest for them."
Good God!
And everyone's like, "Damn!" But Brandon is not on social media. He is a ghost. He actually is not even here. No, I'm just kidding. It's Red03BMC. You can follow him on Twitter, but he doesn't really tweet. So that's cool. If you want to try and follow him on Xbox, you can do that. But
he only plays with his friends. So screw you guys.
He doesn't like you. He loves you. He just does.
So basically.
He just likes. He's like Tony with Marvel. He just likes the way it is. He doesn't need anything more. And then Brandon, I already told you about Brandon. Tony is at Tony Brown on Twitter, and he is at Omega Sanction _ on Instagram.
Omega Sanction. That's what I put most of my content is Instagram.
Yep. You should probably just take over our Instagram because I've been doing a horrible job because Hootsuite does not work very well with Instagram.
I put a nice cool story up today.
I like it.
Did.
Good job. And then he is, I don't know if is your PSN and your Xbox the same thing? T Sanction.
My PSN is Totally Rad Geek 88.
That's right. Yeah. So.
And then Xbox is T Sanction.
There you go. So that's. Oh, and I'm me. I'm like Brandon though. I like it the way it is. I'm Leviathan 426. But you can follow me on Twitter. I have been using Twitter a lot now that Facebook is basically going down in flames. So
they are really going.
We witnessed it. We witnessed it tonight.
Right?
Yeah. Now we know why they're going down in flames because I can't even keep a stream going. Part of me is wondering, like, did Melissa forget and like hit something on the computer and was just like, oh shit. But I don't know. I'll find out after this. She'll be scolded. She's busy treating herself today. Anyways, yeah. So, Leviathan 426 on Twitter is probably the best place you can follow me. That's also my gamer tag. Feel free to follow me. Yeah, that's basically it. Next week, actually, now that I think about it, we have not actually come up with a topic for next week, so we'll figure that out. And we'll let you know on our social media pages. See this is
Steve Spielberg, top 10. We're gonna rank every Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah, we're just a hot mess today. But
today is. Whew.
It's all right. I felt Melissa. It was like 6:05, and Melissa's like, "Wait, today's Wednesday. Are you podcast?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I should probably set that up like before we try and get Phoenix to go to bed." So, alrighty. So that is it for this week. Thank you for watching. And yeah, that's it. Adios.
Laters.
Yeah.